Alright, so 2 weeks ago at the time of this filming, I attended my very first Comic-Con. I wanted to share with you my thoughts, my experiences, what I learned so that I can have more fun next year. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Sean with Hydra Asylum here. Yes, I finally broke my Comic-Con cherry, and I attended Comicpalooza this year for 2024. I will definitely say this: I had a blast. And I'm a person that has very bad social anxiety, so being around that many people, especially like in an enclosed space like a convention center, I knew that I would probably have some times where I felt overwhelmed. And to be perfectly honest, it actually really only happened once on the very first day, to where I actually had to get myself out of the room for a second and take a breather. Thankfully, I went with a group with Jay and Jenna and their niece Z. So they were able to help me get out of it, refocus my mind, and then I just had a great time from there on. So for anybody who's like me, who thinks that just because you have social anxiety that something like that might be hard, go. I promise you, you'll have a good time, because you will be around so many people who are just like you. They're into the same things. They're excited to actually talk to people about it. So just do yourself a favor like I did and just go. I promise you will not regret it. Also, go with some friends that think like you do, so that it's easier for you to keep your mind focused. Though I will tell you this, I was told going into this that it wouldn't be hard focusing and keeping my mind like off the idea that I'm around people, because there's a lot to take in. And a con the size of Comicpalooza, that holds true. It was an absolute blast. I finally got to meet Dan Price, the writer of Bigfoot Knows Karate, who you've seen us talk about on the channel numerous times. The book has been on our best of list, I think, the last 2 years. He's been waiting to meet me for a couple years. Jay and Jenna go to Comicpalooza just about every year, so they've met them. So this year, finally able to just see the man face to face instead of on a camera like we have with each other. Dan, if you watch this, bro, it was great meeting you. The dinner that we had over at the Mexican restaurant, amazing, a fun time. It was great to just sit with a bunch of creators and network a little bit, and just to hear some of the stories that everybody has, as far as the comics they're working on, or maybe what they've been interested in reading, and just in general shooting the breeze and talking about just nerdy stuff all around. So Dan, thanks for that again. Can't wait to see you again next year, bro. But all of that aside, there were a few things that I definitely learned. I came in to the con itself. I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend, but I kind of did that on purpose this year, because I really just wanted to experience the con and the events and just see what they had to offer. And so I purposely kind of came in here not able to buy a bunch of stuff. So one of the things I've learned for next year is I know exactly the kind of things that they have on a year in, year out basis, based on what everybody has told me, what Jay and Jen have told me. So now I'll go in next year. There are certain things that I will look to buy, memorabilia wise, or some of the vendors that are there pretty much every year. I know how to do that. If you go to any con that has a Pecos Pete's soda thing, 100% recommend that. If you've never done it, you have to pay something like $30, $35, depending on the cup you get. It's yours to keep forever. But you pay for it that first day, and it's unlimited refills. And then each day after that, it's like $7 with plus tax, and it's all you can drink. And trust me when I say that that is far better than buying a drink every time you're thirsty, because it's insanely expensive to buy stuff at these things. So just take that as a small piece of advice. But I was able to get a few things done. Obviously, meeting Dan, having all the issues of Bigfoot Knows Karate, I brought them all, and I was able to get them all signed. So I've got them here. So here's issue 1. Good. This one will be hard to see, but the signature's right. Oh, there we go. Here in black. It's right there. Issue 2 got in gold, so you can see that. And then issue, it's not really issue 3. This is a side story called Hinagon. Again, he signed it in gold. And then I had another Hinagon that's a deluxe cover that he signed as well. I left that with Jay, as I don't think he has a copy of Hinagon yet, so it felt good for him to be able to keep it. Plus, he hasn't read it, so it was a good chance for him to check that out. But nonetheless, totally dope. It was a deluxe edition, and I did get a chance to check it out. Awesome editions. So head over to lesserknowncomics.com. Check out Bigfoot Knows Karate. All the stories, I believe they're on there. Pick your favorite cover. Get it. Dan was also with a gentleman who has been writing a character for, I think it was 25 years, he said, called Halloween Man. And the only Halloween Man comic I'd read before was with Dan's original character, where it was Halloween Man and Latex Avenger, who were at a con, which was a fantastic read. But when we all saw this, he had a hack slash versus Halloween Man. This was the one comic I did get new, because I'm a huge hack slash fan, and as good as Halloween Man was with the crossover with Latex Avenger, I wanted to get this. So keep an eye out. I'm gonna read this, and I'm definitely gonna share my thoughts on it, let you know what you think. Super cool people. He's, like I said, he's been doing this forever. Let me see if I can find the creative team here in the book real quick. I can try and tell you who it is. Alright, so this was written by Drew Edwards, colors by Mark Lewis, pencils by David Beldian. If I got that wrong, please let me know. Inked by Scott D.M. Simmons. Like I said, been around a long time. This should be a good read, just flipping through it. Try and give you a little piece of the art so you can kind of see. This looks awesome. So, like I said, keep an eye out for that. Another thing that I was really, really excited about, I'm a big fan of Chip Zdarsky and his work. Of course, we all know he's done incredible work for Marvel, but his series Silver Coin and Stillwater, really for me, are my favorites. So it was really cool to meet him, and it was really hard to choose this time around what cover I wanted him to sign, but I decided to have him sign my Silver Coin #1. So here's that. And I think I kind of caught him by surprise when I pulled the book out, because of course most of the people, everybody before me, was buying something Marvel or DC, Batman, Daredevil, you name it. So when I pulled this out, he goes, "Oh, Silver Coin." And I told him, I was like, "Yep." I was like, this and Stillwater are two of my favorite series. He goes, "Really?" He goes, "That," and he thought that was cool to hear. And so he went ahead and signed this. But overall, just a great interaction. Super nice dude. I can see why everybody talks so highly about him, just based on that experience. Plus, I think his wife was there. Truly pleasant person as well. So just kind of continuing that tradition of every single comic creator we've met has just been a gem of a human. I've never had a bad experience. And hopefully I don't ever have to have that kind of experience. But, if I do, it is what it is. And the last thing I really wanted to show off was from an artist that's local to us named Chris Foreman. Jenna became friends with him from doing pop-up cons at the movie theaters when various comic book movies would come out last year. Super cool dude. Check him out on Instagram at Chris Foreman Art. Leave a link down in the description. He's a super talented guy. He's done covers for, I think, Marvel and DC. Really known for his Lego covers. I've actually got prints of those that I'm going to be framing and putting up. But he kind of started a thing with Jay on Free Comic Book Day from last year, where normally, when you walk up and you ask an artist for a commission, it's like, a head sketch or, a bust sketch type thing. Well, Jay says, well, can you draw me the Superman logo? And so that was going to be kind of his thing, where Jay was just going to ask him to draw a different superhero logo each time he saw him. So Jay walks up to him this year, he goes, "We're going to keep that going, but just, draw whatever you're feeling, man." Chris sat there and was like, "Well, you're a big Superman guy, right?" And, of course, Jay, we all know Jay, he is. So he suggested Jay that he's going to do a Green Lantern Superman logo. This immediately sets a light bulb off in my head. And once they settled that, I asked him, I was like, "Well, can you do a Sinestro Corps Batman logo for me?" And man, he nailed this. This is super cool. No regrets. Next year, I know it's a logo thing, but next year, my plan when I see Chris, or at least when I see Chris next time, the next commission I'm going to ask for is a Blue Lantern Flash. Period, because that is one of the coolest logos of all time. But yeah, if you ever see Chris, have him do a sketch. It's awesome. He does such great work. Chris, look forward to seeing you again. It was great to see you this year. Okay, so now that I've got all the fun showing off stuff out of the way, like I said, I had an absolutely amazing time. I just had that one instance the very first day where, like I said, it got a little much for me, but I was able to take a breath, walk. We kind of walked to where we were going to go watch wrestling the first night because they actually had Texas All-Star Wrestling putting on some matches. That got my head just back in the right space. And from the rest of the weekend, it was just an amazing time for me. So much to see. I will definitely say this. When people told me, yeah, you could be walking around and just, a celebrity that's there at the con doing signings, they might just walk by you. That happened a couple times. For whatever reason, I just didn't want to believe it, but they had several guys from The Office there, and Creed, who was one of the actors that played on that show. We were just standing there and just walks right behind us, drinking a cup of coffee, going up to his table to start signing. And that was just kind of like the first moment where I was like, okay, people aren't joking when they say that. Rebecca Romaine was there doing signings, and she's married to Jerry O'Connell, who just happened to be walking around the floor in a Mystique cosplay. And then lastly, I think the very last day Jay and I were standing there talking, and he looks over my shoulder and he glances for a second. He goes, "Is that?" And I turn to glance, and boom, Booker T is like right there promoting his comic that he has. I think it's called G.I. Bro. I think you go to his wrestling website, Reality of Wrestling, you can buy it there. But he was signing with fans, taking pictures. It's like, holy cow. So there was two instances where that happened to me, and as geeky as it sounds, I thought that was cool. The only celebrity I didn't really get a chance to go see was Anson Mount. I was super excited, really wanted to go see him, and never really got a chance to. And by the time I really got to go over to where he was, unfortunately he was done for the day. It's just kind of like, So that is one thing I will definitely say. Next year, when I know I want to do something, make sure I go do it. But overall, I'm excited to go to my next con. I'm excited to go back to Comicpalooza next year. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Very fun, very awesome experience. Anybody who's maybe gone to their first con recently or this year, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your experiences were like, what you learned, any advice you feel like passing along to me, so that I have that for next year. But overall, like I said, next year it's going to bring more money. Know that I'm going to be able to buy the stuff that I want to buy merchandise-wise. And if there's a panel or a celebrity that I want to go see, go do it. Don't delay. Don't put it off. Otherwise, you miss out like I did. As far as what's coming up on the channel, of course, you're going to see more shorts. We've been trying to diversify the shorts a little bit with different kinds of fan castings, different themes. Like we have epic moments in comics. We're starting to talk about comics that need to be adapted, but none of these are going to be Marvel and DC stuff. And of course, breaking news like we always do. So I'm going to go ahead, get out of your hair. As always, please stay safe, stay healthy, hug all your loved ones, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.